Beyonce put her song out and it Show Me Love and you're trending every.
The song was written 6 years before it got to Beyonce. She got 25% of the song. The reason why people who work for Beyonce don't talk is because they're all on NDAs. Because that's also how she works. She silences people so that nobody gets...
Why is everyone suddenly dragging Beyonce into the fire? This round, she's getting grilled for allegedly swiping from black artists. And let's be real, this isn't her first ride on that storm. Every album drop sparks louder chatter about sketchy credit grabs, and people insist it's way too messy to ignore now. The craziest part? Fans swear she's already been exposed before for messing with songwriting credits. But this newest scandal is just getting started. Another level of chaos just hit. Songwriter Tiffany came out swinging, accusing Beyoncé of snatching up to 30% of royalties from the writers behind her hits. That's not spare change. That's people's survival. And here's where the tea boils over. Beyoncé isn't sitting silent anymore. She's finally firing back at the claims. And the way she's gearing up to handle this mess will absolutely leave you stunned.
Call her Queen Bee. Y'all call the internet Beyonce's internet. It would be amazing if Beyonce was paying every single songwriter that's on the project for the songs that they're writing. It would be amazing if Beyonce paid a session fee to the songwriters and producers that are working with her.
Beyoncé is catching flames yet again. This round, it's all about accusations she's been lifting from black artists. The chatter's been circling for years, with folks claiming she borrows, grabs, and then vanishes the moment backlash hits because she knows the Beehive will swarm in to fight her wars no matter what. But let's lay it out and let you judge who's actually speaking facts here. When she dropped Renaissance Act I in 2022, it wasn't just the music shaking things up. It arrived drenched in endless controversy. And the uproar around it, oh, it was deafening. First up, Azealia Banks exploded in signature Azealia fashion, messy, unfiltered, and dragging Beyoncé for diving into house music instead of keeping to her R&B lane. But that was just the storm's opening act, because right after came a mess way heavier. Turns out Beyoncé released the track Break My Soul, built on Robin S.'s iconic hit Show Me Love. But here's the twist, Robin S. had zero clue her song was being used, even sampled. She only realized after her own son called saying, "Mom, you're blowing up on social media right now." Imagine discovering through your kid that one of the planet's biggest superstars just flipped your classic without even bothering to give you a warning.
It doesn't have to be confirmed. The singer knows her songs. And my son called me and he's like, Mom, you're trending all over the place. You know, Beyonce put her song out and it Show Me Love and you're trending.
Beyonce tried patching things up with Robin, but the way it unfolded sparked even more side eyes. Right after the backlash heated up, Robin hit Instagram flaunting a surprise delivery from Queen Bey herself, flowers with a card tucked in. Robin proudly posted it, saying, "Check out my gift that just arrived. Please read the card." 2 generations of legacies colliding. Beyoncé, you are now part of my legacy, and I'm a part of your legacy. Let's ride this wave, baby. May you always shine as that beacon of light, that burst of sunshine, and the hope future generations look to, forever in my heart. But here's where the whole thing turned shady. Robin later wiped that entire post. Fans immediately speculated that things between her and Beyoncé weren't half as sweet as she pretended for the gram. And making it even shadier, in a quick TMZ street chat, Robin admitted she never actually heard back from Beyoncé after those flowers, only fueling suspicions the so-called peace gesture was pure performance.
I know that you had said that you were hoping to hear from Beyonce. Have you heard from her?
No, you never give up hope.
Yeah? Do you have any message for Beyonce now?
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Robin didn't bite her tongue either. She tossed slick shade right at Beyoncé, saying Chris Brown's sample of her track was way better than the version Beyoncé dropped. Now that's one savage comparison.
Had a lot of great people sample your song. I love it. Which song that is your favorite?
Gosh. Out of all the people who sampled my song?
Yes.
I think I like Chris Brown.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Chris Brown.
Okay.
So clearly, Drama was cooking behind the scenes that the public never fully clocked, because between Robin deleting her post and admitting Beyoncé ghosted her, the shade was thick. Then Azealia Banks barged in with a wild claim that Beyoncé allegedly pressured Robin into dropping that gushy Instagram post, promising to do right by her, only to yank that promise back later. Azealia went off, writing, "Since Bey is out here pretending to support black divas with random flower bouquets after swiping their art, arrogantly assuming they can't afford lawyers, and muzzling them into spitting out canned PR lines to mask this chaotic album rollout." Now that's one ruthless accusation. But it didn't end there. Singer Kelis also stepped up, accusing Beyoncé of straight-up backstabbing her by not even giving her a warning before sampling her hit track. Beyoncé slipped the sample into her song Energy, and Kelis was furious about being iced out of the loop. To be fair though, Kelis doesn't technically control the rights to that record. She's been tangled in a long, bitter war with Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo of the Neptunes, claiming they tricked her out of her masters. Still, the fact that Beyoncé never reached out first made the whole thing look icy and calculated. So technically, Beyoncé didn't need Kelis's green light to clear the sample. But Kelis felt it was just basic respect that Bey could have shown, especially since they once had a solid professional relationship before all this drama exploded. A Kelis fan page even spotlighted the Energy sample on Instagram. And Kelis herself jumped into the comments to make her feelings crystal clear. She wrote, "My mind is blown too, because the level of disrespect and straight ignorance from all three parties involved is astounding. I found out the same way everyone else did. Nothing is ever what it looks like. And some folks in this industry have zero soul or integrity, yet somehow they've got everyone fooled." That's some brutal shade right there. But of course, the Beyhive wasn't letting it pass. Fans instantly tried flipping the narrative, claiming Kelis was just clout chasing and chasing attention. You know the drill, anyone who dares call out Beyoncé instantly has the tables flipped on them. But Kelis wasn't finished. She later dropped a video breaking down her anger with more detail. According to her, it wasn't just about the legalities, it was about respect. She said the real issue was that Beyoncé never cleared the song with her personally. And to Kelis, that felt like a straight-up betrayal.
That not only are we female artists, okay, black female artists in an industry that there's not that many of us, right? We've met each other, we know each other, we have mutual friends. It's not hard, she can contact, right? Ash Nico, who's 20? She's a young white girl. She reached out when she freaking, it's just common decency.
But here's the kicker. If you don't even own the rights, boo, what can you really pull off? Kelis herself admitted she no longer controlled the track after being swindled out of her masters by the Neptunes, Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo, leaving her with zero real power in the whole situation.
The lies that were told, I also know the things that were stolen, publishing was stolen, people were swindled out of rights. It happens all the time, especially.
That's exactly why the credits on Beyoncé's tracks read like a novel. Every single detail has to be nailed down legally. And in this case, she actually played it completely by the book. She went directly to Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo, the ones holding the rights, and cleared the sample the proper way. Legally, she had no reason to loop in Kelis at all. But still, fans weren't buying it. Many argued Beyoncé should have shown more respect considering her history with Kelis. The whole thing stung even more because Beyoncé is notoriously strict about who's allowed to sample her own music, and she never makes it easy. Just a few months before Renaissance Act dropped, rapper Fivio Foreign revealed he wanted to sample Destiny's Child's classic Say My Name. But getting the approval was anything but smooth sailing. Beyoncé kept pushing back, making him rewrite his lyrics over and over before she'd even consider signing off.
She had to hear it. You know what I'm saying, she heard it. She made me. It was a little vulgar, a little bit for her at first.
So you cleaned it up.
I cleaned it up. I cleaned it up.
I
cleaned it up.
Beyonce was like,
I cleaned up a lot.
So with Beyoncé forcing other artists to jump through hoops just to touch her music, fans felt she was flat out wrong for not giving Kelis that same courtesy. The backlash got so intense that Beyoncé quietly patched things up. She yanked Kelis's sample completely from Energy and even erased her vocals from the track. But here's the twist, while that storm finally cooled, a brand new one was already brewing. As Beyoncé gears up to release Renaissance Act 2, Songwriter Tiffany went live and unleashed bombshell claims that Bey is not only running shady business tactics, but also pushing victims into silence. To really grasp what Tiffany is saying, you've got to understand how publishing works normally. Publishing royalties flow straight to the songwriters, the ones actually putting pen to paper. But sometimes big-name artists flex their power and demand a slice of that publishing cash, even if they never wrote a word. And according to Tiffany, Beyoncé has been doing just that. She's accused of swooping in, grabbing the lion's share of royalties, and stamping her name on tracks she didn't even write, and this isn't just gossip. She's already been caught red-handed in the past, faking songwriting credits. Now, with Tiffany speaking out, fans are beginning to question if the Queen's empire is stacked on way more borrowed bricks than anyone ever guessed. Take Beyoncé's track Bow Down, for example. She once claimed she wrote it while channeling her own rage and heartbreak. In an interview, she even said, "I walked into the studio with a chant stuck in my head. It was raw, it was angry. It wasn't the Beyoncé who wakes up every morning. Picture the version of me that hates you. Imagine someone who doesn't believe in you, then stare in the mirror and say, 'Bow down, B,' and I guarantee you'll feel gangster." But here's the bombshell. That whole tale was a flat-out lie. The songwriting duo Rock City later exposed that they were the true writers behind the track. And get this, it wasn't even meant for Beyoncé in the first place. The song was originally pitched to Rihanna, but she passed, leaving the lane wide open for Beyoncé to grab. This is exactly why people keep blasting her for being shady with credits and publishing. Not only does her label already scoop up a huge slice of the publishing cash, but songwriters barely see coins as it is. And according to Tiffany, when those writers dare to speak out, Beyoncé allegedly shuts them down fast, making it clear that crossing her isn't worth the battle. And when songwriters push back, Beyoncé reportedly traps them with ironclad NDAs, guaranteeing their voices never reach daylight. But here's where it got even juicier. Remember when Jay-Z slammed the Grammys for snubbing Beyoncé and denying her Album of the Year? Well, Tiffany clapped back with ruthless shade on Instagram. She wrote, "Maybe Beyoncé will finally snag Album of the Year when she starts actually paying songwriters and quit snatching publishing from them. I hear it's around 15 to 30%. And let's be real, Grammys don't pay the bills. That's a savage call-out if there ever was one." And Tiffany wasn't finished. She doubled down, jumping on video after video to drag Beyoncé's name and spill what she claims is the real truth about how the Queen runs her empire.
Is it not fair to come to the Queen about evolving her business practices? This is not the same music industry it was when she first started. Publishing makes far less money than it used to. If you're not writing a single, you're not making any money. So every percentage that we get of publishing matters because it's all we got. But does that stop her from taking publishing despite that? No. Would I like to see it change? Would other songwriters and producers like to see it change?
Tiffany was clearly fired up over the entire situation. So much that she even jumped on a live-streamed event to unload, spilling everything out for the whole world to hear.
Somebody yesterday, somebody's a manager of somebody who is a writer and producer on Renaissance. Okay? The record is one of y'all faves. The song was written 6 years before it got to Beyoncé. She got 25% of the song. And here's the thing. The reason why people who work for Beyoncé don't talk is because they're all on NDAs. Because that's also how she works. She silences people so that no...
This entire mess is seriously messy. You'd expect more from Beyoncé, especially since her brand screams feminism, empowerment, and equality. If these claims hold water, it's honestly disheartening to think she could be treating other artists like this. But according to one insider, Beyoncé is reportedly totally unbothered. She allegedly believes she hasn't done anything wrong. From her view, she didn't hold a gun to anyone's head or force them to write for her. The writers made the choice to sign NDAs, fully aware of what they were walking into. So if they're whining now, Beyoncé supposedly feels it's not her issue. It was their choice to play the game. But here's the kicker, some dancers have even jumped in, claiming Beyoncé doesn't actually pay songwriters the standard rates. flat out claiming she doesn't pay. And let's be real, not everyone can be lying. If multiple voices from different corners of the industry are saying the same thing, that's enough to make people wonder what's really happening. So now, I need to hear your take. Do you really think Beyoncé is out here grabbing other people's publishing? Drop your opinions in the comments below. Smash that like button, share this video, subscribe for more updates, and I'll catch you in the next one.